Hi, and welcome to this week's podcast with Montessori Makers Group. I am Hannah Richardson, the CEO and founder of Montessori Makers Group. This week, we are going to talk about the idea of instilling hope. And instilling hope is so very, very important at this time, considering everything that's going on in the world. We're seeing a lot of change happen every day. We are seeing changes affect the people that we know and love and are in community with. And so when we are thinking about being within our Montessori spaces, actually all educational spaces, places that serve children, we really need to think about the ways that we are instilling hope within our community. And our communities consist of a host of individuals who are there to do the work and to lift each other up and to support one another and help each other thrive. And so we really want to consider our faculty and staff, those who come to our spaces every day and who are sharing this love of the work with everyone and offering the best of themselves to children. We want to think about the families, those people who have entrusted us with the ability to care for their children, and they trust that we honor them and their experience and their journey toward adulthood. And most importantly, we want to think about the children, and the children have their whole life ahead of them. So it's really important that we consider the ways that we are ensuring their safety and instilling hope in them. As we know from the philosophy, Montessori really provides a platform for us to really honor this experience and journey of childhood with the idea that we are supporting humans who will create a better world for all of us. And so in order to do so, we need to make sure that those children have hope. When we are thinking about our faculty and staff, we in Montessori bring a lot of folks together who come to us for different reasons, right? They come because they really honor and adore children and they want to be part of the process. They come to us because they are excited about education and the cosmic connection of all things that we learn. They come to us because they are free thinkers. They are strong community members because they love the philosophy and the way that we do things. And they come to us from all walks of life. Some people come straight into Montessori education after finishing their own education. Some people do career changes. Some people do life shifts. And with all of this comes a lot of different individuals with differing needs and different backgrounds. And it is important for us to honor each and every one of them because one of the main ways that we help children continue to have hope and to continue to feel safe is by ensuring that the adults that are directly working with them feel safe themselves. Like, one cannot provide stability if one does not feel stable, right? So one of the things that we can do as an organization or school is think about the various things that we have in place to ensure the safety of the adults around us so that they can feel stable and ready to give their best to children. One of those things is through the systems, the structures, and the policies that we have in place. Are people aware of the ways that we are supporting them and know that they have access to said things? So, for example, do people have time that they can take from work if they need to attend to something that's really important that has affected their personal life? What does the process look for people being able to take said time and have coverage and be sure that things won't fall to the wayside while they have to be away? Do we have policies and practices that protect people's ability to be who they are when they are in said space? Do they know what our values are around how we respect one another, how we share in spaces when we might have differing opinions? Do they know who they can turn to if they are having challenges? What do these policies and systems look like for sharing the information of the things that do exist Or in what ways are we working together with the community to create things if there are holes or gaps around supporting the things that they need in order to be their best selves? Our strategy for communication with this is so important. Oftentimes with schools, we think about the ways that we do storytelling, right? And the storytelling is like, in essence, how we communicate to folks. And we need to think about the storytelling of the way that we share information internally. Like, is it a weekly snapshot that we have with faculty and staff that get a heads up for things that are happening? If there are things that we all need to be in collaboration with, something that might be happening inside or outside of our school that we all want to be in the know about, what are the ways that we are able to share information broadly, fully, and quickly if necessary? Some schools utilize things like Slack or text change. Some schools have a weekly newsletter. Some schools communicate in other ways. But having a system to be able to both lay out some of the policies and procedures that are there and reminding staff and faculty of what those things are, what they have access to, but also enabling a way for quick communication if it is needed, if something is going on. When it comes to families come to us to entrust us with their children, which is the most wonderful thing. It takes a lot of trust to do that. And so we have to be sure that they know the ways that we are keeping their children safe, for who they are entirely, wholly, deeply, and fully. So one of the things that I often suggest is that we look at the various ways that we are sharing our values. One of the ways that we share our values is, we might have a mission and a vision statement. We might have observable values. We might have a value statement. We might have a strategic plan in place that speaks to those things. But back to the observable values, sometimes it is really easy to get caught in the various ways that we talk about the things that we believe in, or that we think we believe in, or we think we align with. But most often, the way that people know what we believe in is by our actions. And so what things and systems and structures are in place that help people know what our values are by being able to observe them in action? Are they able to see it in the way that we greet people during car line in the morning or at pickup? Are people seeing it in the types of conversations and care we give when we see people? Are we able to show that in the types of clubs or organizations or gatherings that we have? Are they able to see it in the celebrations that we take part in? How do people know that they are being honored, that their identity is being respected and is a valued part of the community? As we think about the ways that we share this information with families, those things do, in effect, trickle down to children. As much as we try to keep our general ideas and belief about the adult world away from children, we know that people talk about the things that they see, the things that they hear, the things that are going on. And if families are experiencing joy and respect and honor, they are sharing those things with and in front of their children. And so we want to make sure that families feel safe and valued so that they in turn can support their children feeling the same. When it comes to children, we really want to make sure that those that have direct connection with children have the skills and competencies to support children as they are moving through different feelings, moving through different understandings. Children are really trying to process a lot of what is going on. Not only do older children in particular, but, some as early as primary and lower elementary really are taking in a lot of information about what's going on. They hear it from the adults around them in their lives, particularly if they are folks that are, likely directly impacted by some of the things that are happening in our world. And people, like children, have access to technology, be it they have iPads, be it they're watching along TikTok with their families on the phone. if their family has on the news, they are picking up pieces of this information, and that can be really scary and unsettling. It can be anxiety inducing. There can be feelings of overwhelm, much like for the other adults that we work with. But it's really important that the adults that work most closely with them understand how to engage with children in a way that allows them to process their thoughts and feelings, that allows them to think through and come up with their own ideas around how they might feel about things, and give them appropriate outlets to get out said feelings. And so ensuring that everyone has the capacity and the skills to handle those things when they come up, because they will if they haven't yet, really can help children feel that they are in a safe space and that things will continue to help them thrive. What's more is that within spaces where children are, we need to be thinking about the ways that we are creating norms, the ways that we are showing our values within those spaces that show stability. And so there are a couple ideas around ways that we can support that normalcy, support that stability, support children knowing that the spaces that they are in with us all day are safe spaces. And I'm going to shout out to Little Justice Leaders, who I follow on Instagram. They are so great. They offer a lot of great information about supporting children and helping children to see the world as it is, history as it is, and to help support children in understanding and being a part of what it means to be the liberated human that we want them all to be. So some of the tips that they have shared are to set a tone for safety, letting children know what it means to be safe in the space and the things that we are doing to make sure that they are safe and honored. Acknowledging their range of feelings, because there will be and there are ranges. Making sure that we are checking in when we need to with particular students, maybe all students, certainly our faculty and community members. Sometimes it's as easy as like a thumbs up, thumbs down, so you know how folks are feeling and they know that you are caring about how they are doing. As a school, we can reinforce our anti-bullying policies. We all have to have them, but making sure they are clear and they are reiterated to our community around how we feel about people respecting and honoring one another and the way that we treat people within the space. Being clear to focus on the values that we share, the things that bring us all together, the things that make us who we are. How are we continuing to message that? And finally, really clarifying the way that things stay the same. That we will continue to go on trips, that we will continue to have our morning meetings, that we will continue to focus on our school play or go to our classes or speak with joy or celebrate these things that are really important to us that might be being challenged in other arenas of the world. That we will continue to love, we will continue to thrive, we will continue to uplift. Those things are really, really important. When we think about our whole community, we really want to consider the ways that we are creating belonging. What are the ways that we are ensuring that everybody feels like they're here, they're valued, they are meant to be here, we love that they are here? Because we do. We've brought everyone into the community for a reason, and we want to make sure that people know that it is loved that they are there, that it is appreciated that they are there. And we want to find ways that people can further create community. So if you're a school, what ways are you creating opportunities for faculty and staff, for families, and for children to create community within your space? What are the ways that you are opening up doors for people to create spaces, create experiences, have discussions, invite others in to certain areas, spaces, discussions, etc., so that people are connecting. During times like these, one of our strongest pieces to ensuring hope, to ensuring safety, is each other. And we need each other to do this. And so what are the ways that we are creating space for this to happen? And finally, I'm going to end with a piece of advice that I heard from a friend recently. A friend had gone to, I think it was Baltimore, and had gotten to see the amazing Hannah Nicole Jones speaking. And one of the things that she took away from listening to her talk, that she was amazing overall, but one of the things that she had taken away is that there is a lot going on for many people, and it makes it really hard to focus on on all of the various things, right? You can feel overwhelmed really quickly. You can feel like things are very heavy, and you can start to feel like you can't do anything, like you can't help, you can't make an impact. What is my role in all this? But one of the ideas that she walked away with was that you can focus on one thing. And that one thing can be the way that you will work in a continued way to support hope, to support stability, to support real normalcy. In particular, when we're thinking about work in service of children, that work might be something that we are doing either directly within our community environment, or it might be something that we are doing in our greater community that has, a different type of reach to it. But it is really an effort that is in service of children. It is in service of the betterment of children. It is in service of their future, in service of them thriving. So I challenge you this week to think and consider about the ways that you might think into what it is that you can do to continue to honor this beautiful experience of childhood, to set the stage for their thriving, to instill hope in children and those that love and care for them so much. So, as always, thank you so much for joining me here this week. I look forward to speaking to you again soon. You can always check us out at www.montessorimakers.org. We have a YouTube, a Substack, a Facebook, an Instagram, LinkedIn, Threads. We are pretty much all over the place these days, and upcoming we'll be headed to the AMI, the AIMS, and the AMS events. Probably more to come. We really look forward to seeing you soon. In the meantime, that's it for now, and have a great day. Montessori Makers signing off.